Hello and welcome to First String Podcast. I am Lady A, and today we are going to talk about the NBA Draft Lottery, playoffs, Preakness, and that leaked NFL schedule. Join us. We got Al in the back. Said and Pick are on assignment. Let's get into this.
It's wartime, baby. This what you signed up for. This what we worked hard for. You for. Y'all the first string. Y'all gotta go set the tone now. Hey, let's go. Lace 'em up. It's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Cause it's time for the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Lace 'em up. It's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Imagine talking sports, having fun with the fam. At a starting lineup, First String is what you have. An entertaining stream with the Pro Bowl cast. When the viewers chime in, they gon' answer what you ask. Representing for the Queens, yeah, we got Lady A. A super knowledgeable woman who can break down any play. Said from the South, so he read GA. The Falcons, the Bulldogs, the whole Peach State. Drunk Uncle Al, only way you can describe him. Every time he crack the mic, you know he gon' be wildin'. Last but not least, it's my man Toothpick. Commanders is a squad and he the captain of the ship. So if you feel the vibe, go ahead and tune in. Like, subscribe, recommend to a friend. Nah, for real, like, subscribe, and recommend this to a friend. Hey, let's go. Cause it's time for the First String Podcast Show.
All right, again, it's me, Lady A, Said and Pick are on assignment. And we have backstage our one and only Cowboy fan who thinks that they're going to go to the Super Bowl every year. Oh boy, look at this one. Hey, Al. And you muted. That's perfect. That's perfect. You muted yourself. Don't blame me.
I didn't say anything. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Lady A. First of all, let me get the good stuff out the way first.
Mm-hmm.
Happy belated Mother's Day. I hope you had a
Thank
wonderful
you.
Mother's Day.
Yes, I did. Thank you so much.
Happy Mother's Day to all mothers in the chat as well.
Mhm.
This is the First String Podcast, but we're going to Lady A and Big A show today. So this is just us two.
Oh, Lord.
So
This is going to be a mess.
you better be fine, but not allowed today. So
They are always allowed.
Everything goes.
Look, we need the Christmas money.
Our host is gone, along with his trusty sidekick. They're on assignment, so they better be doing their job and getting some fantastic guests from wherever their location is for the show. But I got a couple good nuggets today and a couple good things.
Yeah, man.
We know who the first game of the season will be. America's team against the defending Super Bowl champions. Now, this shows you what a draw will be, but we'll get into all that. I know you want to do, they could have put them commodes on there, but because of the great NFC Championship game that y'all didn't play in against them,
that we played in,
that probably wouldn't have been the draw that these boys right here will be. So you know what they do. Ratings will be a bonanza because them boys will be on the first game of the season.
Okay, then you woke up. Let's say what's up to the chat before we get into this. We have Bruce Wayne. Good evening. Good evening. And we probably have Pick.
Oh man.
He eyeballing.
You know he is.
We have Cuzzo. Thank you so much. I did. And then we have Sonny. Long time no see, Sonny. Yeah. Yes. Salute to you too, Sonny. And then, Cuzzo says, "Whoa, wait,
do we have to explain this every time?" Let me answer this, Cuzzo.
because we
I
can't keep.
am a Cowboys fan, and I have allegiance to the Pittsburgh
Mhm,
Steelers and the Buffalo Bills.
mhm,
Those are I can get traded midseason. I have an allegiance to them, so they'll all, I have a rooting interest in both of those squads. So therefore, I give you a wide perspective of multiple quality teams being the Cowboys, the Steelers, and the Bills.
mm,
So don't hate me,
mhm.
hate the game.
And Bruce Wayne, we on the same page once again. He is rooting for a one-star team.
Why do you need 5 stars if you're the number 1 star?
No, you are a one-star team
Number 1 star, not one
because
star.
the ratings, we can't help it. That's what the ratings are.
The number 1 star.
The ratings is how many stars you have, and you have
That's
one.
I tell you all every time. Y'all have an overinflated
You
ego.
have one.
You all had a very good
It's not
season.
about an overinflated ego. That's
You
what it
all
is.
have
Always had
you
one.
all have been. We're not gonna get into. We're not gonna do this for the. We're not gonna do this for the chat. They know. You all are hoping to build on a season that you all had last year. But
Mhm.
like I said, it's easy to go out and do it one time. It's harder to repeat. And
Yeah,
let's see if you can build upon
you
that.
guys
That's,
know
that's what we're going to find out.
harder.
If y'all are real or surreal, we're going to
Mm.
find out.
We know it's hard for you guys to repeat. We got it. We
Don't
understand.
worry about it. Like I said, man,
It's
our
crazy.
quarterback is back. We plan to have our starting quarterback for 17 games or more this year. So
Mm.
we're going to see what that does.
Yes, Dak is getting paid.
Dak is definitely getting paid. I
Hmm.
don't agree with that, but Dak
Don't
is.
mean I was about to say, don't mean he performing like how he getting paid, but he getting paid.
We can always hope. We can always hope.
All
So that's what we're going to do.
right, so let's get into this NBA draft lottery. So yesterday, the NBA did their annual draft lottery. Now,
Yeah.
Al, let me ask you, who do you think won this lottery?
Who won this lottery? Dallas. I mean, the number one pick. I think Cooper Flag once, if he's a once in another one of those once in generational talents that they're
Yep.
projecting him to be, I think it bodes well for Dallas. A very strong team.
Hmm.
I'm not buying into the what's that?
Yeah.
I'm not buying into the conspiracy theory that this is rigged because then it wouldn't make sense. Like they said, it wouldn't make sense for the first of all. There's reporters. There's a accounting firm, Ernest and Young, that handles everything. The integrity of everything would be in question. It's not.
Mhm.
Dallas had a 1.8% chance. They lucked up, went from 11th or 10th or 11th to 1, the
Yeah.
biggest jump ever.
But they had a they they had a trade that really a lot of people are pointing fingers at that trade that caused them or allowed them to get this.
No, because I understand it did weaken their team by getting rid of Luca. I think anytime you get rid of Luca, but I think what weakened them as well was the injuries. They had a lot of injuries late in that
Yeah.
late with Kyrie going down. And if they were tanking for the pick,
Mhm.
they played they played themselves to get into the play in. They won the first game of the play in
Mhm.
and was beating Memphis until Ja took over a little bit late in that game
Yeah.
in that final playoff game. So and that would have took them out of the lottery completely.
Yeah.
So the whole conspiracy theory that Dallas, the league was in it, kill it. It's not. This Dallas has got very lucky.
Yeah. And see they're saying that they're teams that took a lottery tumble, right?
Yes.
And we're talking about the Wizards who I love my Wiz kids, but they're not good. Um,
Yes.
the Wizards, Jazz, Pelicans, and Nets kind of all took a tumble, and they were expected to be that top four. And for those who don't know, essentially getting that number one spot, the Mavs have an opportunity to get literally probably the number one person that's out there, Cooper Flag, forward from Duke, right? He's from
Yes.
Duke. Yeah. So that's essentially what they're playing for. It's a lot of people are screaming conspiracy, but like you said, they had a 1.8% chance. So it's not a 0% chance. So of course, you know, um, but was it a shock to you, Al? It really wasn't a shock to me.
I'm gonna tell you why I wasn't a shock because everybody gets caught up in that whole the Wizards and I think Utah Jazz and even 76ers held kind of held to where their percentages was. But
Mhm.
people get caught in and it's weighted. but they had a 14% chance to get the number one pick,
Yeah.
which means they had an 86% chance that they wouldn't. So
Yeah.
people got to understand, well, wait, in regards to being the one, but when you add the other percentages of the other teams, but
Mhm.
it was a better chance that they won't than they would, but they had the best percentage of all the teams, the bottom 14 teams of
Yeah.
getting the number one. But like I said, and it's funny because it's not the first time. I think this is the last 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
The team with the best percentage chance of getting number one hasn't gotten number one. I
That's
think
true.
I think Cuzzo had a question in the chat. With Dallas getting the first pick and having Kyrie Irving, do you think they would keep Uncle Drew or use him as trade bait?
Mm.
That's a hard question because I think they need to build it. They need a guard. The
Yeah.
one they have bigs, they don't have guards, and he's coming off an Achilles. I mean, I'm sorry, knee injury.
Injury. Yeah.
Knee injury. So he's going to be probably missing half the season. And how valuable, if you're going to trade someone that good, you want them playing at the optimal condition and being healthy to get the maximize return on them. So I doubt they'll trade Uncle Drew. I think they'll keep him, use him as the building block. I think he'll be a dynamic piece because you need stability in that locker room. He's a veteran
Yeah.
and he loves it in Dallas, and he's been on his best behavior in Dallas. So
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't, if I was Nico, I wouldn't trade any more fan favorites if you know what
Yeah.
I
You still got to get them in the seats.
mean. You definitely got to get him in the season. I think Cooper
Yeah.
Flag will help with that.
Yeah. So now that the draft is done, the order is the Mavs at number 1, the Spurs at number 2,
That's a surprise.
76ers will be 3rd, and the Hornets will pick 4th. The rest of them will be picking based off of record. So I mean, a lot of people aren't fans of this lottery for the top 4.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. What I've been hearing a lot out there is that if that they want the NFL to adopt this weighted system because, like I said, Adam Silver did this. I think about 2019 or 2020 or whatever it was when he changed the whole added the whole weighted system because he wanted to get rid of tanking, and that's what you're seeing now. I think, and like I said, I heard something earlier today that made a lot of sense. You are just like Gerard Mayo. He pretty much got fired for winning a game
Yeah.
late that season because
Yeah.
he lost his position of the first pick in the draft.
Right.
And I think the league should look into maybe using that theory of getting, because there's no way winning should be a bad thing. I don't care how bad your team is. Just sports, man. You go out there, you play to win the game.
You're supposed to.
As Herm Edwards say, you play to win the game. So anytime a win should never make you feel like you lost something, especially in sports and professional sports. When these guys, like any given play, you can be out for the rest of your career. So I think winning is an important thing, and I think these guys, I think that's definitely something that in the next owners meetings or whenever they get together, they should think about because and they're about making money. Do you not think the NBA does it on a Monday or Tuesday night or something? Do you know how the NFL will market the NFL draft lottery? Man, they have a half-hour show and be charging sponsorships probably $1 million more.
The NFL
they would make
money
on that. And we know that the NFL ain't got no problem making money.
They don't. And I mean, in truth, the tanking thing is an issue. We know that they do it.
Yes.
It's very clear. But also, I think that one of the positives of doing this lottery in this way, you're not going to always have the same 3 teams picking first.
Right.
And it's more of a privilege now to get the lottery than it is to just be the number 1 pick, because you do have people trading and things like that. The NFL, they could use a lot of changes, and I'll kudos to them for the changes they have made recently as a result of other leagues. The UFL, well, XFL, then UFL came into play, and kind of forced them to change a couple things because they started losing viewerships, and the fans were like, well, we like this over here. So the NFL has had to adopt some things.
Kickoff, all little things that have been good for the game.
Yeah.
And like I said, I agree with you on that. You have to stay on top with innovation. And whether you're borrowing something from another league, another sport within your another league in your sport, or another sport in general, I think it's always good to stay relative and keep your viewership on something that's changed or something different, and noticing what's lagging and
Mhm.
what's not pushing the needle. So, like I said, I do agree with that. The UFFL, and what is it? The what's the other league?
Well, the
UFL,
XFL
XFL.
and the UFL. Well, XFL has joined with the UFL now, um, but well, it became the UFL. And I feel like the UFL has had that type of impact on them. But it's good to know that, they can hear their fans, because sometimes we do feel like the NFL
I'm gonna tell
doesn't
you.
hear the fans.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that was the biggest shock to me that kind of went under the radar. I think for a lot of people
Mhm.
with this. This was the lowest number of declared athletes ever for the NBA draft, and
Yeah, and you
they're
know
saying
why?
it's directly because of the NIL.
Yep, yep,
I think it was like 106 or 110. It's the first time it's been under 300.
yep.
So that in and of itself is
Change the movie.
showing you the effect of NIL.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, will it make a better product for the NFL, NBA, excuse me, to draft from? Because these kids are going to get more refined, more time in college, more
Correct.
coaching,
And
more
we
more
discussed
reps. And
that
that was the
before.
problem. We didn't know
Yeah.
any of these kids that have been getting drafted, and so many have been European or been international. We said that were international
Mhm,
players, that
mhm,
they're good players, but we just don't know them because we don't get to see them. And kids aren't staying in college long enough to be getting the name notoriety other than, like, unless you're Cooper Flag and you've been talked about and on every
mhm.
commercial.
Yeah.
And the kids are on more commercials now because they can get paid.
And we talked about the NIL having a certain effect on professional sports, because the kids are making more in college. So it's not like they're not cutting their time short. I mean, of course, we know that the NBA stopped the drafting out of high school.
Mhm.
That was like one step.
Right.
And then now they're in high school. I mean, in college, and instead of waiting to a certain point just to get notoriety, they're actually developing their skills. But at the same time, they may not necessarily be developing all of their skills because they're moving from school to school. So that's a factor too.
Yes.
So, when you are switching up your coaches and your teammates, you're just switching up your environment, your atmosphere so much. Exactly how much are you developing?
That's a good question, I guess, and I guess, and we won't know the answer to that probably till a few years down the line as well.
Right, right.
And to see, because like I said, we're just starting to see the major impact of the NIL in different sports, especially basketball. Because like I said, these kids are almost like 1 year free agents.
Yeah.
And like I said, and one another thing that I've noticed is they've talked about high school recruiting is way down
Mhm. Mhm.
because they're no longer picking the top high school kids. They're picking kids from other schools, and this
Right,
as proven commodities. And
right.
that's affected. Now you got kids in high school trying to get NIL deals, and the colleges are saying you better get an NIL deal because there's no guarantee you're going to be here.
Yeah,
And so it's like I said, we're just trying to work our way through this world of NIL. So
yeah.
it's like I said, it's going to be fun to see and interesting to see and I guess when we look back in hindsight 10 years from now in like 2000, what I guess when did NIL start, 2022, 23, somewhere in that
It
neighborhood.
was it was real recent, yeah.
Yeah, so 2033 we'll be able to look back and see the full effect, have a big enough synopsis to be able to see exactly.
And because that was a very long fight that they had.
Oh my god! It's funny because I remember the game it started, it was EA College Sports, with the kid
Mhm,
O'Bannon,
mhm,
and that thing hung in the courts for what Ed O'Bannon played when I was in college. I think it's
mhm.
been around for that many years fighting
Well,
for
I'm not that old.
that. I said me, okay.
I'm not that old.
I
I'm
mean,
still claiming 35,
I'm
okay?
35. Okay, 35. So I mean, Ed O'Bannon a little older than you, little older. That's
A
all.
little bit, just a little
Little,
bit.
just a little bit. So,
Well, Cuzzo did have a
yes, he
good
did.
point. He said that he was glad that the Wiz didn't get the first pick, but do see anyone in the draft that will be a type of franchise pick for the Wiz to build around. Well, first of all, let me say about the Wiz getting the first pick. They have fumbled the first pick.
Who was their last first pick? It wasn't Kwame, was it?
Yeah, I think that might have been was that our last one? I think it was our last
Was
one.
John Wall? No, probably John Wall was after Kwame, so it probably had to
Yeah,
be
he was. He was, but he was number one?
because you had number two. A couple, SARS was the number two pick a couple years ago. He's a defensive stopper and still a work in progress.
Yeah, John Wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me say this though. It's like and we kind of it kind of goes along with what we were talking about with the lottery to get the same people early in the draft, but they're not doing anything with it. It's not helping
No.
the Wizards to draft early. They've proven that because even when they draft really good talent, they still manage to mess that up.
See, you say you for the Wizards, but you always hard,
Um,
you hard on these
but
Wizards.
I'm
They are going
realistic.
through a youth movement,
Let me tell you
and
something.
you either
How
gotta
long is this
embrace it,
movement?
you have to embrace it,
How
or go get all the way against it. And they're trying. If they
long?
get rid of Jordan, Jordan Poole, then see, like I said, that's a whole nother thing we're seeing. And I guess it's a whole nother subject, totally off what we're talking about. But I want to throw this out there, even for the chat. Are we giving Steph Curry the credit that he deserves of being an all-time great player? We always talk about him being a shooter, but
Yeah,
we are seeing the impact of how bad Golden State really looks without Steph Curry. And good, and but thing is, look how the players who have left him.
yeah.
Clay looks bad.
Mhm.
Jimmy Butler playing by himself looks bad.
Yeah.
Um,
His
Jordan Poole,
brother-in-law was playing with him too.
who?
Um, his brother-in-law,
Yes.
sister's husband. Oh man, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember his name.
Should have
I
checked.
mean, he's pretty decent.
But yeah, so it's crazy because Jordan Poole benefited from playing with Steph Curry. That's how he and the Wizards thought he was going to come here and be a franchise player, and he's been a franchise bust. But
Yeah,
that's a whole nother story.
but I mean, I'm gonna say this. I
Yeah.
mean, when we're talking about the NBA and we're talking about people drafting and showing their worth, it's
Uh-huh.
kind of difficult when you have a team like the Wizards, and then there's some other teams that it's like they'll either downplay the person or they don't give them the tools that they need to succeed. And I feel like even with John Wall, in truth, was an amazing player.
Absolutely. Till he
Amazing
got hurt.
player because well, he to do what he did with the Wizards with what he had. And then when you had Bradley Beal, those two, first of all, I would have liked to see them play on the court at the same time more than
Yes,
they did.
but
Um,
go ahead.
but with that said, it's like it's rather unfortunate how the Wizards and that's kind of what we're talking about. That why, because I was saying like he's happy they didn't get the first pick because what are they gonna do with it?
But also to Cuzzo's point, it didn't help. I don't know if anybody, the chat has seen, if you've seen it. Shooting guards, the documentary with Gilbert Arenas and Javaris Crittenton,
Mhm.
that didn't help the
Yeah,
Wizards. Look, they fumbled that situation horribly,
yeah,
and
they
it
did
looked
not
like
manage that.
Gilbert was running. Like they had inmates running the asylum, and had a situation they were trying to cover up that became, yes, on Netflix, that became a, a, a a criminal investigation. Congress chimed in.
Yeah.
You had all these different leaks all over the place, and it
Mhm.
became, like I said, where the feds actually came and raided the locker room to search for guns.
Yeah.
That can't be good for the franchise.
It isn't, and it gave DC a really bad look. And if you think about it, we talk about PG County all the time and how PG County produces amazing talent,
Absolutely,
right? The Wizards are that team that represents this area.
yes.
So for us to have so much talent in this area and for our team to be so bad, it speaks volumes.
But
And then
also,
it also to put it out there, I mean, in real life, some really good talent get ruined by the DC area as well.
that's what I was going to say after. The
Yeah,
thing is, this area is notorious for ruining homegrown talent, which
yeah,
is why KD never wanted to come back, supposedly.
yeah.
And a lot of the homegrown talent that we've put out that's been stars and other franchises
Mhm.
never came home. You look at players like LeBron, who came back to Cleveland. Got drafted by Cleveland, came back to Cleveland. Homegrown kid. It was never an issue. But we've never been able to keep or recruit our homegrown talent back. And I think it says about how that franchise is running. No one wants to deal with the riffraff or the
Yeah.
dysfunction of Washington. From, I mean, like I said, since Abe Poland, from Ernie Grunfeld to Ted Leonsis to or whatever it may be, and that whole debacle of whole just mismanagement of a lot of talent, we were unable to bring the best people. Even though we grow great talent here, we
Yeah.
can't bring it back here, which is a big
And
problem.
in some of the pro sports, if you think about it, a lot of the pro teams in the area, they'll have stuff for kids.
Yes.
So they do have an impact on the talent that comes out of this area because they have these youth programs.
Yeah.
And I sit back and think about it. The last time the Wizards went the second round of the playoffs, my son, who is 18, was really, really small. He was in elementary school, and I took him to a game.
Okay.
And that was the last time. That's a little concerning.
Yeah. Was that I'm trying to think. What year was that when we had Paul Pierce and he said, "I call bank"?
Yeah, that
They
was
got
that year. Well,
okay.
that team,
Yes, that team.
nonetheless. All right, so and then we have the playoffs. Let's get into that real quick. We have a game currently going on right now.
Hmm.
We have the Pacers and the Cavs. Pacers are up 77-68. They lead 3-1.
Yes, and we're losing most of this game. They've come back major. Cleveland was up like 8 or 9 a few minutes ago before we started this show, and they've gone up 11 now.
Yeah.
And it's a big surprise. The East is going to be a big surprise. I think we're going to have a 3 seed and a 4 seed coming out of the East. I feel so bad for Jason Tatum last night, man. He was having a hell of a game last night, excuse me. And what we all fear might be a ruptured Achilles, man. I just wish the kid all the best, man. I think he gets a bad rap. He's a heck of a player. He's carried that team and has been and had a great playoff run. And I think it's like I said, and like I said, I'm trying to figure out what Boston's going to do because they're so far over the cap. And now with Tatum potentially being out almost the whole year, like a Dame Dollar, what are
Mhm.
they going to do? Who are they going to keep in? They're going to, and with new ownership, they're going to be looking to cut bait
Yeah.
and bring some of that money down. So
Yeah.
this might be the last we've seen of Boston in their heyday for a couple of years.
Well, that's I'm sure a lot of people are happy with that. All right, so that wraps up our
Yes.
NBA. Let's jump on over to what's coming up this weekend. Do you know what's coming up this weekend?
You tell me. You tell the chat.
Preakness.
Preakness.
Yes, we talked about the Kentucky Derby.
Uh-oh.
And we had a lovely guest on,
Yes, we do.
my guy Chuck. He's back today. Um, he told us some things that were going to happen at the Kentucky Derby,
Gave us some gems, baby. He gave us some gems.
yeah, including the fact that we're not going to have a triple crown,
Yes.
and that was true. So let's bring Chuck in. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
My
Pretty.
man, I need some money, Chuck. Help me out, baby.
Give us all the details.
You gave me 4, and I didn't. You told me sovereignty. You put me go, and you told me to do a super effective with sovereignty. It was another horse you gave me. The only one you didn't give me the third place horse, but you gave me two of the top ones, and I appreciate it. So now I'd have been a great Quinella if I'd have put it together. So now
That's
I
an
need
old school term, man.
I know I'm old school, Chuck.
Oh.
I haven't heard
I'm old
Quinella in a
gambler. I
long
got old
time.
habits I can't break.
But yes, Chuck. So tell us, the positions are out.
Yeah, 9-horse races. Really disappointed.
Oh,
Only 9?
yep.
Yeah, 9. It's a pretty easy handicap if you go by, just sheer number of horses. That's what makes the Kentucky Derby so difficult because it's 20 horses.
Right.
And most of them are, champions from former races that they won to get, qualifying races.
Yeah.
And here it's just, well, some of them are champions, and then there's others, and then there's, greedy owners trying to jump into the pot and throw everything in there. Have you guys been watching the Netflix special, Race for the Crown?
I have not. I said I was going to, but I have not.
Oh, I mean, it's mostly BS. But It follows the story of two owners. One's a guy trying to get into the game, owning percentages of horses, and then there's a billionaire guy from Vitamin Water
Okay.
who owns a bunch of horses.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's mainly about them too. But I mean, they did some things, showed some auctions, and showed some interactions with a bunch of trainers, and that was cool. But for the most part, I mean, I think people are gonna go into the Netflix special expecting to see some stuff about the game that's just not there.
Oh,
But yeah, let's get into it. Let's dive right into these Preakness horses.
Who you
yeah.
like?
You want to start by position and go
Yeah,
through?
let's break it down. Let's go 1 through 9. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull them down again.
I have them. So I'm
All
all
right, well, run them to me.
And,
right. So
let's
number
get this.
one
Hold on,
is
lady.
goal
Let's
oriented by
let's
Bob
get out
Baffert.
the chat time to get some paper because Chuck about to drop some nuggets, y'all.
Yeah,
So
write
you
your
might
notes.
want to get some paper and pen because I am telling y'all, if you need a little bit of summertime money, Chuck about to give you a chance to get some. All right, go
They
ahead.
ain't
Chuck.
listening.
Oh man, I appreciate you guys have more faith in me than I do.
Chuck, you ain't supposed to say that. Come on.
No, but check it out. So let's start with number one, goal oriented.
Hmm.
It's Bob Baffert's one of Bob Baffert horses. He's out of the barn of Bob Baffert. He really shouldn't be in this race. I was disappointed with Bob putting him in this race. I understand why he put him in this race, but I still think it's a gutsy move. And I don't think this horse is ready for this kind of race. He's only had 2 starts.
Okay.
And one of them, I think, was a week ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know about this one, Bob. But, he was hoping, everybody was hoping Rodriguez was going to come back.
Yeah.
And that foot injury just isn't ready to go for him yet. So, I mean, that's the situation there with that. So I think Bob just wanted a horse in this race. I really think that's what's going on. And because this horse was scheduled to be in a race on the undercard.
Oh.
He was scheduled to be in an earlier race, then Bob pulled him and made him, it's like an audible. He put him in this race here. So with that being said, the one horse side, I wouldn't put any faith and effort in it. I mean, if you want to back him just because he's Baffert horse, more power to you. But I don't think Bob gets his next win here this time on this.
And his odds are 6-1, right?
Yeah, I believe morning line is always going to change with pyramid. I wouldn't worry about odds too much at this point.
Okay.
I mean, aside from the favorite journalism, which I believe is still 8-5 right now.
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about odds because the money's going to change by the time we get to Saturday afternoon anyway.
Okay.
And it's probably going to change significantly based on the bums that are in this horse race. It's just so disappointing. No sovereignty. It's just come on. These guys want to race. There used to be a time when champions were racing champions.
Right.
Now it's just let's hold him out. Let's preserve his record. And, he's undefeated. And let's just not race him too much. And it's just a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
These guys
So you basically tell them there's be more action in East Baltimore on the streets than it is going to be in the track.
Yeah, unfortunately, man, there's more action Friday at the Black Eyed Susan Stakes.
Okay.
In this $2 million Preakness race. 9 horses is ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the field isn't that big, but still, come on.
Yeah.
And then, I don't really necessarily have a problem with the number versus the quality of the horses that are in the race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are pure bombs. So let's go again to number 2.
Sure.
Okay, that is journalism.
Yeah, journalism's favorite. He should win this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think journalism wins. Journalism damn near won the Derby. If the Derby was a little shorter, he would have won it.
Right.
So typically when you see a Derby like that, when you see a guy go that hard and go that fast and almost win and then give out to another guy that in the last furlong, you typically take that horse to win the Preakness. I learned that lesson in 2011 with Shackleford.
Hey, Chuck, I got a quick question for you while you're on that. The jockey for Sovereignty got fined for beating the horse. I never knew this was a thing. You couldn't beat the horse.
Yeah.
I found it out. So they don't take the win from him, but he's suspended. Now, is that part of the reason why Sovereignty is not running, other than not going for the Triple Crown because the jockey suspended, or what was the effect?
No. I don't think that had anything to do with Sovereignty not racing at all. I think you can put another jockey on him. That's no big deal there. I mean, granted, he did win it, and he probably would deserve to win again. But I mean, let's touch on that suspension real quick.
Okay.
This is the problem with our game, and this is just more regulatory BS that just continues to plague horse racing. You got guys, you want to stop the corruption, you want to stop the drugs, you want to preserve the horses. Okay, yeah, right, we get it. But I mean, like, here's one thing people don't understand. So now with these jockeys and the whip that they're talking about that was hit on the horse is high too many times.
Yeah,
it was 2 more times than what was allowed.
Right.
2.
Yep.
Right.
And what they don't tell you is the whip isn't even a leather whip anymore. No, it's made of foam now.
So is it really? What's the effect of that?
It's the visual effect of other millions of people around the country seeing the world's most prestigious race, and then it sees the whip just.
Yeah, but if it's
they think it's amounts to animal abuse.
Yeah.
Remember the show Luck on HBO?
Mm-hmm.
Remember they canceled it?
Okay.
Yeah, because of all of the potential backlash that was going on with horse abuse and all of this other stuff. Yeah, same situation.
Yeah.
It was fine until the show aired.
Right.
Yeah.
So just like it's like the public peeking in, seeing a little bit of the dirty laundry that's involved in our game. But I don't believe that he should have been suspended at all for that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it gets overturned if he does choose to fight it, which I believe he is.
Because they're finding him too, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, do you look at the Kentucky Derby over the past couple of years? There's been a couple of infractions and suspensions. Yeah. The one they had with maximum security a couple of years ago when they took him from first all the way to 19th place.
Yep.
Yeah. That was with Luis. I think Luis Saez was the jockey there.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how I can remember this stuff.
You on a 2,000-pound animal that's full of muscle, flying around the track, and you're supposed to count how many times you hit him?
Yes. But that's part of their training, but whether or not, first of all, I didn't realize that they were not leather anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing they don't tell you.
Yeah.
They want you to believe this myth that, the horse is getting punched in the face. And it's just not, that's not what's going on.
Yeah.
They banned leather whips a long time ago.
Well, there you go. There you have it.
As Cuzzo said, it sounds like Peter done flexed their muscles again.
You're right.
That's all the time. Yeah, all the time, man. We just can't get around.
Like they run a good section of the world.
The problem with horse racing is this. The number one problem with horse racing is it's not a federal governing body to oversee it. It's not like the NBA. It's not like the NFL. It's not like Major League Baseball or any of the other competing sports. The closest thing we have to it in terms of regulatory situations is boxing.
But it says boxing.
Yeah, because you got this group regulating this group regulating that. It's just the same. You got the Kentucky people regulating this, and it's basically a state-run game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So until there's a governing body that says, okay, you can't do this anywhere.
Yeah.
Then we're going to always have problems back and forth between the races.
Okay.
But I do think journalism should come out on top. Okay. If I was a betting man, I would do that myself for journalism.
And to remind everyone, journalism is in the number 2 position.
Yeah, number 2 slot.
So number 3, we got American Promise.
Oh, I love this guy. American Promise. I was high on him for the Derby because I saw the weather and I thought that he would respond a little better in the mud. American Pharoah, one of American Pharoah's kids.
Okay.
He's also trained by Dwayne Lucas, who has the second most Preakness wins in Preakness trainer history. Okay. Number 1 is Bob Baffert.
Right.
So Lucas is I think 1 short of Bob in that one.
Okay.
So I like him, but he's considered a long shot in the 9-horse field at 15-1 odds. Mm. But I think he's the best long shot that we have.
Okay.
What's his odds?
15-1.
Yeah, he's 15. He should probably stay around there.
Okay.
I don't see much movement going to come in on him late. So, but I like him to finish in 4th place.
Okay.
4th place. Okay.
Yeah, I like him to finish between 3rd and 4th.
Okay. All right. So number 4, we have Heart of Honor.
Heart of Honor. This guy is a funny guy. This one comes from he came 2nd in the Derby in United Arab Emirates.
Okay.
Yeah, he's had 6 starts. He's basically won, I think, 2 out of 6 and came in 4th place in 4 straight horse. Second place in 4 straight horse races.
Okay.
So he's a good second place finisher. I mean, if you want to bet him in there, you can. I wouldn't. I think this guy's going to get dusted at this race.
Give us the real, Chuck. Give us the real, baby.
Yeah, I mean, that's just I think this guy has no shot. I think he's getting dusted in this one. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. I would love to see the horse that ran in the what's the race on Friday before the Derby? The Kentucky Oaks.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see that horse run in this Preakness because I thought that horse was incredible and hasn't lost. It was 6 for 6, and she ran a top speed of 39 miles an hour.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think that would have pressed his pace a little bit on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would lay off a Heart of Honor if I were you guys.
Okay.
He has a Heart of Honor. Bless his heart.
Let me tell you, Chuck. Know what that horse reminds me of? Got a good name, but ain't worth nothing. The Commander.
If you don't be quiet,
Man, why you had to do
hater. He's a hater.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Go to number 5 horse. Go to number 5 horse, man.
Yes, number 5.
Yeah,
because it's a 1-star team. Number 5 is Pay Billy.
Yeah, Pay Billy. He's the long shot of this race. I would lay off Pay Billy if I were you guys.
He ain't get nobody paid. What you telling me? Huh?
No, Pay Billy. This is just not.
Billy.
It's not Pay Billy's game. Like I said, there's always filler horses in these races.
Yeah,
he's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, happy to be here. 2 thumbs up. All right. Good job, guy.
You get the participation trophy.
Yeah, thanks for filling up the field. We appreciate it.
Boys Club horses, what you telling me?
Huh? Yeah, he's a result of a very ambitious owner trying to win the race. That's a result of that right there. I don't think Pay Billy should be nowhere near in the building here. I don't think he's that good of a horse.
Okay. All right, and then number 6, we have River Thames.
Same. He's 9-2, 9-2 early odds. River Thames. Mm-hmm. He might, but I mean, 9-2 is pretty much 4.5 to 1, which will put him at 1, 2, 3. He would be technically the 3rd best odds choice right now.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would lay off a 6 if I were you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess too much with 6. 7 is my guy.
Yeah. Yes, I remember from
Sandman. I love 7.
Sandman, yes. You gave him last time.
For Derby.
He won Arkansas Derby. Convincingly, too. So, I thought he would do a lot better in the Kentucky Derby than it did, but it looks like he just didn't have any room to run.
Okay.
We got a question for you, Chuck, real quick. Cuzzo, he said he's a few miles from Scioto Downs. What's
that?
That's a good question. Would there be horses competing there throughout the horse racing season?
Scioto Downs in Ohio?
Yeah, he's in Ohio.
Is in Ohio? Okay. In Ohio, yes.
Would they horses be competing there throughout the horse racing season? Okay, listen, man. So every track has their own season for meets.
Okay.
Now, I mean, typically when we want to call this horse racing season, but it depends on the DNA of your track. Yeah, like if you're on the Derby track for your, then you'll have in the season. Yeah, but I mean, like if you look at Laurel Park, Maryland, I mean, their season starts a little different.
Right.
And if you look at their daily, and it's also, is he talking about stakes racing or are we talking about daily?
He might be talking about like the Derby, the Preakness.
What was the second part of his question again?
Would they be competing there throughout the horse racing season, meaning the races that we're talking about right now?
Because this is considered
last time I checked, just to be 100 on everything. Last time I checked, I thought that horse track was kind of like a Rosecroft with the harness racing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they even do thoroughbred racing there anymore.
Okay.
I know California, they pretty much run all year out California, right?
Well, it depends on the track. So like, Hollywood, I mean not Hollywood, Santa Anita, you got that one. I'm not sure if Golden Gate is still even open anymore, but now there's Del Mar.
Okay.
Yeah. So Del Mar's opening day is a little, the weather is different in California. So your racing season is gonna be a little different.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we on to number 8, Clever Again.
We already at number 8?
Yes.
Because we did Sandman at 7.
You say you like
Sandman was 7. Yeah, I like Sandman. So I would put. We got kind of cut off with the question. So I would probably put Sandman in my trifecta box.
Ooh, like that.
So what's that? What was he, 7?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got 2, 7, and 3.
Okay. So that's Journalism, Sandman, and American Promise.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to put American Promise in this one just so the people can make some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially at 15-1 odds.
Yeah, 15-1. You're gonna need a 15-1 odd horse in that trifecta box to get some kind of cash out of this deal.
Mm-hmm. Now you said Clever Again. Their odds are 5-1. So what about Clever Again? That's
Clever Again. I like him. I'll put him. I'm also doing a win place show bet on Clever Again. Okay. I like Clever Again to be in the 4.
Okay.
So you do a superfecta box. You could probably put Clever Again in there. I would if I were you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Clever Again. He's got some good speed, and you're gonna need speed in this race. It's a shorter race, so you're gonna need a good speed. I think he has a speed rating of like 102.
Okay.
Is that why Journalism is such a favorite, because he gets out so fast?
Well, I mean, he's a favorite because he should have won the Derby.
Right.
If the Derby, like you look at the distance, right? And you see a horse coming like this, and you see another horse, and he comes, and then here's the other horse coming at the end.
Yeah.
But it has to be longer for that horse to get that extra stride. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you cut that track off like this to where he was at originally, he would have won.
Yeah.
So usually the guys that come in second to the Derby are usually early indicators of Preakness winner.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that the hard way in 2011 on Shackleford.
You keep bringing up this Shackleford.
Yeah, it was my toughest loss to date, 2011. I had $5,000 on Shackleford. Straight out win. He was 25-1 odds. Led the whole way, gassed out. It took all my money. I didn't have any more money to bet the Preakness. And then he comes back and he wins the damn Preakness.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll
be in counseling for that. I'll still be.
I've had a couple close calls, but that one was probably one that itched the most. Ever since then, I've been on that. I've been on that theory.
Okay. Our number 9 position is a 20-1. That's Gosker. Is that how you say it?
Say again. What's the name of it?
Gosger.
GOS.
Gosker or something. The trainer is Brendan Walsh.
Okay, yeah, that's the kid that won the Lexington Stakes.
Okay,
yeah. I don't really have much to say about Gosker. He's 21, running on the outside of a 9-horse race in a slimmer, shorter track. I mean, maybe, but I'll still like my guys 2, 3, 7, 8.
Okay.
I got a question for you, Chuck, as well. I know it's not a big horse. I know it's not a big horse race, meaning the number of horses. Does pole position make a difference, as much of a difference, because there's so few horses in the race, or does it still play a big part? In a 20-horse race, that can make a big difference because you get horses boxed in, you can be in the wrong spot, coming out, but you don't get out. You get, like I said, you can't. Does that make as big of a deal in a smaller field? I guess is the better question.
Well, my father RP would agree with you and say yes.
Okay.
So we were 2 different types of horse bettors. I was the one doing all the studying and reading speed figures and styles of jockeys and training methods and all this other stuff. And he would pick the same 3 pole positions every time.
Okay.
And like I said on the last one, if you look at the Derby winners, if you look at the pole positions, the ones that have won the most Derbies come out of the same 3 poles. Okay. 10, 5, and 8. So in the Preakness, pole position does matter.
Okay.
Because if you get on say for the one horse, if he doesn't dart out and jump in front of everybody, he's already behind.
Yeah.
And then you have tons of dirt getting kicked in your face, kicked in the face, kicked in the face.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I don't like this horse, because he doesn't like getting dirt in his face.
Mm.
All the races that he won, he went wire to wire.
Mm. All right. So your top four is 2, 3, 7, and 8. That
Yeah,
is
2, 3, 7, 8.
journalism is 2. American Promise is 3. Sandman is 7. Clever again is 8. So that is Chuck's pick. I do have a question for you. The weather. What
You predicted the rain?
well, it's been raining.
Oh,
Uh
okay.
it rained pretty good today.
Hang on, let me look at it, see what we
Yeah,
got for weather.
I'm doing the same thing.
Weather does play a factor.
I think it's supposed to be a little rain. The
Um,
remnants of kind of
Saturday, no, but Friday is supposed to rain.
yes for the weekend. Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to be 88 degrees on Saturday, which
beautiful.
could help to dry
Yeah, I
the
got sun shining all day Saturday from 12 to 7.
yeah, but and it's 88, so that could help dry it out. But Friday we have 86, but 70% precipitation.
Yeah, it looks like that rain's gonna come south on Friday early, around
Mm,
about 10 o'clock.
Good.
yeah.
So you should have a dry derby, but I mean, my picks do not change in the if there were to be some inclement weather, I still believe journalism can get it done. I mean, he got it done in the derby. He damn near won that in the rain there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see any problem with that. You may, if you want to look at, I don't have any information on Gosga other than the fact that he won Lexington, but I don't have any background information on him. But if you want to look at, long shots in the mud, which most people tend to do, that's fine. But I just don't think this track will be muddy enough to produce a long shot at the time.
Right, right. Okay. Well, that is good. All right. So, let me
You
see.
telling us no money to bet journalism straight up. We want
8 to 5. I mean, by the time an 8 to 5 horse gets to Saturday afternoon, you're going to be looking at possibly. I mean, in this race, I wouldn't be surprised if journalism finishes at 1 to 9.
good God Almighty.
Mm.
So you mean bet them early then? Is what you're telling me?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter what you lock them in at.
Right.
Oh, really?
This is a horse race.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's the day of.
You might as well,
It's right up to the time of the gate.
you might as well run up there when it happens.
Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but they're going to give you the final odds of at the gate when it happens.
Yeah. You might
The
as
only
well.
way you can
That's
lock
why
in a
you
horse
see
race with early odds is to do a future bet.
Mm,
Yeah, you can lock one of them in on Twin Spires or HG. It was an HRTV, I think. HRTV or Twin Spires. Twin Spires is probably the most popular. I believe you guys can use Twin Spires in Maryland.
I think so. Yeah, we can do a lot in Maryland. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the other apps, but I know Twin Spires is one. I got to drive all the way to California to make a Twin Spires bet out here.
Oh, yeah. And you in the heart of it. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of powers that be that won't allow other people into their money.
Correct. And so, with that said, just to cover us, I need to go ahead and read. I know how you feel about this, Chuck, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it. All right. If you or someone you know is facing challenges with gambling, support is accessible. The National Council on Problem Gambling offers various resources such as FAQs, a self assessment for gambling behavior, details on treatment, and a helpline to link you with local assistance. You can call 1-800 Gambler, that is 1-800-426 2537, or you can text 800 GAM. You can also visit them on the web at ncpgambling.org. Okay,
So bet it all.
covered.
What she said.
No, I
Yeah.
said
If you have an addiction to winning, if you have a penchant for trying to win and wanting to take a chance at changing your life,
y'all are terrible. I just want y'all to know that.
there is a hotline to support people.
We
like
have
you.
to put that out there because we do have people. We talked about this before that fall into these categories, and First String Podcast is going to be responsible by providing them with the information.
I understand that, but I have to do the contra positive here. So I started a safe haven for gamblers. It's called the Betting League. And what it is a group of guys that were previously looked down upon based on their wagering by their peers and their family members and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I created a support group for guys that had the nuts to take their money and make a change for their life.
Say it again, Chuck. Say it again. Say it with your chest.
That's what I did. I created a support group for men like myself who were tired of being ridiculed for trying to make something of themselves.
Tell them again, Chuck. Better at all.
I understand there's a problem, but there's also a winning portion of it where no one will bother you as long as you're winning.
Correct.
They'll bob you. They come borrow money from you.
Yeah. Hey, let me get it out.
Yeah, but you're not going to be viewed as a negative person. You're a friend then.
Sure.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
So the betting league is taking new memberships if anybody feels as though they want to join.
I'll give him a link for that too, Chuck. I'll put it in the chat so we can put it on.
Well, you have to message me first. Is the invitation only?
Excuse him. You got to win to be part of it.
Yeah, tell them, Chuck.
All members are closely vetted
and have a little financial.
You know what?
In there too. We don't want to let no broke ones in there.
I'm about to pop your hands.
So that's like the VI. That's like the champagne room. You got to pay a little bit to get in there, huh, Chuck?
Ow!
It's a secret society, man.
Ow! That's a fine. But Chuck, tell us. I'm not to put you on the spot, but can you share a little bit about what you personally have done for sports betting and in your career and things that you've had to witness? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
I've done a little bit in my quick little career in sports gambling. So for those that don't know, I started out as an exercise rider at Laurel Park. I used to ride horses around the track every morning. I was very, very small then, a lot smaller than I am now.
And Chuck grew like real out of nowhere.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. But so I created this was prior to I want to say this was 2017, 2018. Prior to sports betting taking off and getting legalized and gambling all over the country. There was a time when everybody hated us. No one liked us. No one wanted to respect us. Nobody wanted us around. Everybody thought gambling was crazy. Sports betting was terrible. You're going to lose the house. You're going to lose everything. You're going to lose your car, your wife, and everything else. And then COVID hit, and states were going broke, and they needed gambling money. So next thing you know, here comes legalization of sports betting.
Yep.
Everybody wants a piece of the pie. Oh, it'd be great for the taxes. Oh, it'd be wonderful for the schools. They damn near ran us out of town.
Everybody let the kids now.
Let the kids.
Yeah. Oh, it's great for the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. But no, so basically what I did was at the time I worked for a regulation center. And at the time we were interviewing states and their gaming commissions, including other countries as well. And everybody was trying to gain knowledge on, because everybody was banking on the government legalizing sports betting. Mm-hmm. So this is 2018, way before it even got to the forefront of it. Everybody was thinking that it was going to happen. I had a conversation with former House Majority Leader Harry Reid, RP. And I was asking him, I was like, what do you think about it happening now? He looked at me and he was like, I think we'll get it. So at that time, no one knew nothing. Like, you would be amazed that these people that running these gaming commissions and these people that are on these control boards, they knew absolutely nothing. They didn't know what a sports bet was. I used to walk these people through casinos and show them where the bets were to make this and how to do that, and gave them information on how to make this bet. This is what this bet means. This is what this bet means. No, you have to do it this way, because if you do it that way, you're going to cause a whole lot of problems here. They didn't know anything because they never had it before. You'd be surprised. It was damn near shocking. The only people that knew were the people from the Bahamas, because they had sports betting there.
Right.
And the people that came over from England, because they had everything over there way longer than us. So with that being said, it was just shocking to see, man. It was just shocking to see these people that were being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars from state governments, and they knew absolutely zero about regulating gaming.
Yeah.
kind of like our government now.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at Washington D.C., man. I mean, they were so rushing to put on sports betting, and they wanted to beat everybody else and be first in the area to have it. And look at how it looks now. This one's some kiosks and liquor stores,
Yeah.
and they got one place where you can go stand and make bets. And there's 1 million people in line. There's
Right.
3 windows open. Like, it's just a bunch of crap. Like they came to us and they wanted to see how Las Vegas did it because everybody was following our model.
Right.
So I drafted up an original, like a how-to kind of thing. I drafted an original framework for Maryland and DC, actually, because they were both there.
Yep.
And we sent it to them, just to show, like, this is if you were going to, this is what would be the case. And of course, by the time it gets, passed and statured through, it's the flip side of what we sent over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we actually they wanted to tax it. I wanted to tax it lower. So because I thought if you had a lower tax on gaming, you would get a lot more companies that would want to be more involved in the situation.
Right.
But the problem is they wanted to be Vegas, but they didn't want to be Vegas at the same time. So they thought that it would, they didn't want to go too crazy with the gambling. They didn't want 70,000 operators in there.
Right.
So they made the tax higher and it scared away people. They only granted a certain amount of licenses.
Right.
Yeah. So I was very instrumental in that process.
Man, that's fantastic.
So,
man.
thank you for, trying to advocate for everyone. They're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. But
yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. But I mean, I'm not sure how their numbers are looking now. I know DC's probably still dead last based on that framework. I'm not surprised.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and now I think Virginia, if I'm correct, Virginia has sports betting now.
Yeah, I believe so. They came after DC and Maryland, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. And I know Maryland has a bunch of sports betting now.
Yes.
I heard they sued somebody.
It's possible. Hey, there's a lot of suits.
No. I think the city of Baltimore ended up suing. I think it was DraftKings that they sued.
Did they?
Yeah, for unfair targeted advertising.
Well, I can understand that because I've seen lots of it. Hold on. Y'all know.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the mayor of Baltimore was involved in the suit.
Yeah, they did. They sued DraftKings and FanDuel.
Yeah.
Well, of course, DraftKings is the parent company of FanDuel. So they said they were exploiting misleading, had deceptive and unfair practices.
Yeah, you see it all the time. They always show the guy that bet $1 and he won 10 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never show the guy that bet 50,000 and lost.
Right.
Who walking around with his bottle
on the picture? They'll put all these other young African American guys on his TV to make it. You too can win like me.
Yeah. And this was just back in April.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's been. I don't know how far they gotten in the litigation yet, but yeah.
I don't think they have gotten far, but they accuse them of deceptive and unfair practices to target different people. So
yeah, that should be interesting. I want to see how far it goes and see. Ultimately, I think they'll probably settle out, but I want to see how far it goes.
Look, you see why we have to put the information out there because they're exploiting problem gamblers. So we have to put our disclosure out there.
And then tell them bet it all.
No, that's what you said. That is not that is an owl thing. That is not a First String Podcast thing. Okay.
To all viewers out there, you're only a problem gambler to somebody else. It's never a problem for you. Only for the people that it affects, not you. Therefore, you can't be a problem gambler. It's only a problem for them.
Now, if it affects you, then you would be a problem.
Well, it's going to affect you because you are making the decision to win or lose.
Yeah. But
everything
if you lose everything in your life, then that's a problem. But
if you're by yourself, then there's no lose
your house. Don't lose your house. Don't lose your car. Everything else is up to you.
Well, it depends on how many people are in the house.
You get rid of them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they're gonna leave anyway.
It lets mouths to feed. So it's like you lose a house.
You're not taking advice from Al. The Al said get rid of them.
I'm just saying you're gonna lose them anyway. Obviously, if they're that petty to leave you over some gambling and they shouldn't have been there.
No, but he said other people. That means the kids. Al, you
kids, wife, uncle. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that came over didn't want to leave after the weekend. Get them out of there. Get them out
Oh,
there.
good. It's going to become more to the forefront of society in the coming years.
Yeah, it will be. Well, thank you so much, Chuck, for coming out. Glad
Fantastic,
you
man.
had a little more time to chat with us. You guys
Yes.
remember everything. I hope you took your notes. If not, we on YouTube, so you can just back it up and make sure that you take notes. It is interesting to see. Kind of fun fact, Chuck. I talked to my grandmother before the show, and she was like, "Oh yeah, because the Derby, like she into it. Like she don't play.
Most older people are.
Well, she actually lives not too far from Rosecroft as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So she has always it's always
Yeah,
been
most older people remember the heyday
yeah
of the horse racing. Like before, there was a time when horse racing was it. Like that
yeah
was the
Well, that was your
sport.
bet. That was how you bet.
Yeah,
yep
that was the only sport.
yeah
It wasn't on the
Football
sports
wasn't
channel.
around. There was no Major League Baseball.
right
Hockey hadn't came around yet. This was the place where you could go.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah
yeah.
If
So
you got a
it's
little
good to see
money,
that that's still going
you
on.
got a little cheddar, you can join the champagne room with Chuck.
you know what.
And
If anybody has any further questions, you can always hit me up on Instagram at Chuck Rico D.
All right. Thank you so much, Chuck. We'll see you for the next one.
yes.
All right.
And I'm gonna send you the copy of the receipt of that winning ticket, Chuck, when I cash it in, baby.
Oh, that means he getting a cut.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh yeah, like I
So
said,
it's a down payment on his membership.
pay by
There you go.
way, baby. I'm trying to get in the club, baby.
All right. See you later, Chuck.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Chuck.
All right. So, Al,
Yes.
now that we done got Preakness and NBA out, let's talk. Look, let's move on real quick.
I know where
The
you're going.
NFL. Let's talk about the NFL real quick.
Let's talk about it. I'm a
Yeah,
I'm a
let's talk
little
about the
giddy.
NFL real quick.
Look, let me get on my teams.
Oh
as
no, but
Cuzzo.
no. First, we got to lay the ground first. Okay, so
Okay.
tomorrow is supposed to be the day that the NFL was going to release their full schedule,
Yes.
but we already know the schedule, right?
We know the teams. We don't know the schedule.
We know some of the days
We do
too.
know some of the games. We know the international. We know the international games.
Well, they officially released the international games. However,
Didn't I get the Dolphins or someone? And don't y'all put the Dolphins or somebody in it? Was it you all? They put the Dolphins in Spain or something?
yeah, because we got new licensing this season, which is really cool. Let me see.
Because
Yeah,
they
we
put all
play
those,
in Spain. We play week 11, November 19th.
the
Nine,
lower level teams they put out there so they can get more fan notoriety. The teams that like America's team, they don't worry about sending us overseas because we have a following
it's
already.
an honor to do that. I just want to put that out there. It's an honor to play overseas. And each team, just so that you guys know, we did talk about it before, each team has to get licensed in those countries first
Mhm.
before they go. So obviously the Commanders, well, I believe they licensed the Redskins first in London. And then so they've been playing in London, so they've been licensed there. But now I believe this is the first season they're licensed in Spain.
Have you all had any other will this be our first overseas game? Or y'all
No,
already-
no, we've played in London a few times.
Okay.
So but so each team in the NFL, that's what they have to do.
Okay.
So if your team doesn't play overseas, that just means they didn't get licensed. I'm not gonna say who I'm talking about, but like there are
We
some
don't need to get licensed over there.
there's some
We're all right. We won't worry about going to Germany to pick up more fans or London or Spain or Brazil.
like I said, it's an honor. It's an honor.
We're okay.
It's an honor.
It's
And
not-
so I mean maybe if the leaders, the ownership, that office really truly cared about the organization. Why you set your camera off? Maybe,
that was my calling you back moment. Yeah.
but maybe they would get licensed. But just so that everyone knows, so that international schedule, if your team is not on it, it's a possibility your team is not licensed in other countries, and that is a process that the ownership.
Or your team is too valuable, and you already have a following. You're not willing to give up a home game for the revenue, as we're not willing to give up because we don't need
Okay, so
to.
every team does not play at home when they go overseas.
I know,
So
but
every
somebody
that's
has to do
not
the home game.
everyone's home game.
But they're trying to, that's why Jacksonville plays over this. But they're trying to make Jacksonville, which is the franchise that has in a small market, that they're trying to get more presence over there in the across the water. So Jacksonville has always been rumored for years as being potentially the team that would go if there was one team to go overseas
Yeah,
to capture that market. Now,
yeah.
of course, if you put them Dallas Cowboys over there at any given time, you probably wouldn't have any room for the other team.
Oh my.
Regards to fans.
Okay,
Yeah.
so first of all, you guys claim that you're America's team, but you're really America's team that everyone hates. But we're
Hate,
talking
love, same
about
thing.
international.
Hate, love, you're relevant.
But we're talking about international. Okay.
We're the most valuable franchise in the world. That's very relevant.
What?
Yes,
No, we're
yes, we are. Look it up. Look it up. Look
not.
it up. Please look, fact
No.
check that. The most valuable sports franchise in the world,
Oh, okay. Okay.
the Dallas Cowboys. Look it up. I don't want you to look it up. I want you to let the chat know that is the correct statement that I've
Okay.
made.
Let me see. Let me see.
Yes, please check. The most valuable sports franchise in the world at over 10 billion. Now that doesn't. Now, grant they haven't won us anything, and that's our only claim to fame.
I feel
Let's,
sad.
let's, let's be real with that. I will admit that they hasn't won us anything. So
Okay.
made
For
Jerry.
this, I no. Mm-mm.
Yes.
Mm-mm. Not according to Forbes list. Oh no. In 2024, you guys were.
So who's in 2025? Who's in
I don't, I don't know. I'm looking.
us? That number, the one star, the number one star that we talking about earlier.
Yeah, but the one star I believe is based off of your ranking as far as your players and your play. Your
I want to send a special shout out to an Eagles fan that may or may not be watching by the initiatives of JB. She's a diehard Eagles fan, and I just want to let her know early that we're going to beat on them like a drum come September 4th
bless your heart.
on their banner drop night.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So eat early, drink a lot, and you'll feel better at the end because a little bit of alcohol always makes it better to deal with. So it's okay.
Yes, Bruce. Thank you. America's team represents the America's capital, and
They've never called the commodity. You all ain't even in Washington. Y'all in Landover. So
um,
y'all ain't America's capital, whatever, man.
first of all, America's
And
team.
we need to talk about that because that may be up for discussion because that meeting they had the other day about the RFK Stadium thing did not go very well for you all.
Well, Congress approved it, so they're gonna just keep trying until they get it. Congress,
You're paying all politicians is what you're telling me.
yeah, they're gonna get it together.
You're paying all politicians. Okay.
So yeah, so the the NFL, the leaked schedule has come out, but their official schedule for the regular season will go ahead and come out tomorrow. So we'll see if those leaks are actually real.
Well, they are. Did you want to go over those games outside of
the Thursday night opener will be the Eagles hosting the Cowboys. Okay, that's what we're gonna kick off. So it's definitely going to be the Eagles, which is our nation's bird, picking apart the one-star team. And yeah, there you go. And you're right, Bruce. Bruce did not say that we were located in DC, which we will be again. But he said they represent America's capital, which is true. It's the Washington Commanders. So there you have it. And then it does not stand for
I forgot. That's on 47's team because he was speaking for y'all when he was talking about that. So that's the president's team.
You done lying. You done lying. Because you lying, you big lying now.
He spoke with the owner and said that the draft was coming to DC, was coming home to DC. He said home.
Right, the first time that those people is the nation's capital. That's number one. And number two,
47
he was stuck on the fact that when it was announced that we're going to move forward with the Washington
You
D.C.
all let him speak. Had the mayor
move,
in the back, rolling her
where
eyes.
is he at? She was, she was, she don't like that man, but I mean, it is
Shit.
what it. They've battled. If you know anything about the DC mayor and
Oh,
our current president, they have battled many times, and so now they're. It looks like they're calling a truce, and I really think that it's for the because she's trying to,
get it.
look out for her city.
Yes.
Because when you make enemies with people in high places, it's not just you that will suffer. It would be your city or things like that. So
Yeah.
I believe that that's the reason why they're calling a truce. Um,
She's playing.
but
But
uh,
she got a lot of flack for that too. It's a
she
lot
did
of people who did not want her to. They got, regardless of what she's
not
trying
want
to
her
do
to
for her
play
constituents, they do not want her to play nice, and they do not want her to seemingly be seen siding
well.
with him in some of his policies. But
Right.
like I said, it's politics. She knows how to play the game, and
Mhm.
I do agree she has certain things that she may not like to do, but
Mhm.
that she has to do for her constituents and for the city of DC. So I can respect that.
Right. So we have what has come out so far. Week 1, September 4th through the 8th. We have Thursday's game. The season opener for the entire NFL would be the Cowboys at Eagles.
When
And Friday, September 5th, we have the Chiefs versus the Chargers in Brazil.
right,
Then we have Sunday, September 7th. This is what we know so far.
right.
49ers at Seahawks. We have a game on September 8th. We don't know who it is yet. That part has not been leaked, but we know it will be a Monday night game. Thursday, September 11th, we know that will be a game on Amazon Prime
Okay.
and at 8:15, but we don't know who's going to play. Sunday, September 14th, we don't really know. We do know that there will be a Monday night game September 15th.
How about the international game? Didn't they release? I thought they released
Yeah,
all.
I said one of the international games.
Okay, okay.
So I'm including that in it.
And that start was week 4 or 6. What week does that
Week
start?
one. Week
Oh,
one.
they're doing it for week 1 now. Okay.
Yeah, week 1, we're gonna have the Chiefs
Brazil.
Charger in Brazil.
Yeah, you said
So that has been released officially by the NFL. But then I'm putting that along with the leaked games. But week 3, we don't really have a lot of the information on. We don't have the information on any of the teams for week 3, but we do know that Thursday night game, of course, will be on Amazon. Then Sunday we'll have the games, and then Monday night we'll have at least one game.
And they released the Christmas Day game too, right?
Yes. So then week 4, we don't know about Thursday, but we do know Sunday, September 28th, will be the Vikings versus Steelers in Dublin.
My team.
That
One of them.
I'm not fooling with you. And then we know we'll have a Monday night game. Week 5, we know there's a Thursday night game. Don't know who. Sunday, we do know that the Vikings versus Browns in London.
Back to back. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then of course Monday night game, we don't know who. Then we move on to week 6. Don't know the Thursday night game. We do know on Sunday, October 12th, will be Broncos versus Jets in London. So they're like doing this consistently, if you haven't
Week
noticed.
4. Yep.
Uh-huh. And then Monday, we know there's a game. We don't know who. Week 7, we know Rams versus Jaguars on Sunday in London, 9:30 a.m. We don't know anything else about week 7. Week 8. Let's see. We have no information on week 8.
I predict Shador Sanders will be the starting quarterback week 5 in that Minnesota game.
Okay.
I'm just making predictions.
So we don't know nothing about week 9. I'm letting you go ahead. Week 10, we do not know Thursday, but Sunday we know Falcons versus Colts in Berlin.
Yeah.
That's November 9th. We also know that Monday behind that, it has been leaked. Monday, November 10th is going to be Eagles at Packers. 8:15. Week 11, we don't know Thursday, but we do know that Sunday, November 16th, it's Commanders versus Dolphins in Madrid, Spain.
Go Miami.
You're a hater. And we don't have anything for that Monday game. Week 12, we don't have anything. All right, no, week 13, November 27th through December 1st. That's Thanksgiving. Okay.
Mhm.
So we know that the Lions and the Cowboys are going to have a game. We don't know who they're playing.
Right.
We do know that the Bucks at Rams is going to happen on Thanksgiving evening at 8:20.
The Bucks at Rams. Okay.
Bucks at Rams.
I know that. Okay.
And then
The Friday.
Friday,
Friday
the,
get released. So yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
Friday the 28th, that's Black Friday. We know Bears at Eagles. That's 3 p.m.
Mm.
On Black
Go,
Friday.
go Bears.
And then we don't know anything else about that weekend. Week 14, we don't have any info. Week 15, no info. Week 16, we do know that that's Saturday. Now, week 16, that's December 18th through the 22nd. So that's Saturday, which is December 20th. We know Bears at Packers, Eagles at Commanders.
Mm.
Okay. And I'm gonna tell you, they didn't already then put this tickets out there and everything else for this Eagles and Commanders on December 20th. We don't know anything else about that.
Wow.
Um,
It's not
and,
really.
and then Christmas. Then Christmas, we know there are going to be 3 games, right?
Uh-huh.
But we don't know the first 2. The 1 p.m. game, the 4:30 p.m. game, we do not know who's playing. But the 8:20 is Broncos at Chiefs.
Yes.
Mhm.
Thursday night, right?
Yep.
Christmas on Thursday night, right?
Christmas night, 8:20 p.m. on Christmas. And we don't have anything else for that weekend that we know of thus far. Week 18. Now that's we're not going to have any Thursday games.
Right.
Week 18, Saturday the 3rd or Sunday and Sunday the 4th. We know that that's when we'll have those games, and that's all we know so far for the schedule um as a whole. So definitely check everything out for tomorrow.
Make a prediction. Commanders at Dallas, Thanksgiving Day.
Okay, look at this. My cousin said it's okay, cuz let's just call it like it is. The NFL wanted to give Philly a
He's a
easy
hater. So why would you?
week one. I
Why would you even highlight?
love it. You tell it,
If you
cuz.
can't highlight my haterism, you can't highlight anyone else's. Cuz
I mean, I'm just saying, because you guys are just all over the place.
I'm
Okay.
just telling you, it'd be an honor to welcome you all on Thanksgiving to
Mm.
Jerry's World.
Okay, real quick, let's wrap this up with the NHL. We
All going Caps.
are round 2. And yes, my Washington Capitals fumbled the puck.
Disappointing, man. And I was, like I said, watching with a good friend of mine the other day, and he pointed something out to me that I'm sorry, not Dallas, excuse me. The Caps are playing. Who are they playing? Carolina.
They were playing.
Carolina just looked like the better team, even though they were lower seed. And as I watched the game the other night, they're the faster team.
Yeah.
I mean, their shots on goals, they're moving on the ice, their attacks, everything just looks faster, better.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so our Caps, I mean, they had a really good year. Obviously not as good as we thought. Right now we have a game going on right now. The end of the second, Winnipeg Jets and Dallas Stars. Dallas is up 2-1. They actually are leading. Uh, this is game 4. They are up 2-1 in game 4. So we'll see how that plays out. We have the Panthers and the Maple Leafs tomorrow. Their series is tied. This is game 5 for them. So they're 2-2. Golden Knights and the Oilers just played yesterday. The Oilers won 3-0, and then EDM leads 3-1. So there you have it for them. Uh, of course, we talked about the Capitals and the Hurricanes.
Yes.
Um, Pretty sad that they lost that game, but you know they fumbled the puck. And then of course we have I already talked about the Maple Leafs and so yeah. So keep a lookout for the end result of this game that we got going on right now. Um, they're going into their last period. Let me
Oh, I
see.
missed that. Did Cleveland win that? I just missed that in that game. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
think Cleveland lost.
oh, the game that we were just talking about.
The Cleveland, the basketball game, the
Yeah,
playoff.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think Cleveland lost.
Yeah, the other game has already started
Yeah.
for NBA. So this is playoff season, guys. Definitely enjoy it. That's usually when you have the exciting, things going on. We got horse racing. So it's a great time for sports right now. Even with football, even though it's the off season, you still got a lot of moves, you got a lot of things going on. Look out for your favorite team as far as like rookie mini camp, and then OTAs will be here. So you'll be able to see a lot of footage and a lot of reports on different players to follow up. But yeah, Bruce had a question for you, Al.
Yes, I saw that. Huh. If I may,
Yes, you may go ahead.
Bruce, this is a tough one for me because I'm not sure how to feel about this. I would love a motivated player, especially with the talent of George Pickens. But like I told Sid, I think we got the wrong Georgia Bulldog. Um, but I the history is not on our side with this trade, and the reason I say that, I'll make this quick. You look at the wide receivers that didn't work out in Pittsburgh that they got rid of. Your Antonio Browns, your San Antonio Holmes, your Mike Evans, your what was another one? Your Deontay Johnsons. Your they didn't go elsewhere and produce better or to the levels they did in Pittsburgh. So history is not on our side with that. The only thing that does help us with this is he's a young guy, he's hungry, he's saying the right thing, and he's coming to a better situation offensively than he left with a better quarterback, a more consistency at quarterback. Um, he doesn't have to be the A1 guy, and his coverage is not going to be shifted to him off the brick. He's going to be more open than he's ever been in his life because he's going to be playing opposite of CD. So if we can keep Dak upright and put a average running game together, I think the sky's the limits for our offense with this guy there, I hope. And I think it spells trouble for the NFC East if he comes motivated. Now, if he start getting on that AB level, start acting like AB Antonio Brown Jr. in our culture and in our locker room, it's going to be a long season for them boys in Dallas for me, and I'm going to be very disappointed because we didn't give up much to get him. We can't sign him. When the best thing we did was tell him we're not going to. The best thing he said was he doesn't want to sign a contract before the end of the season, and
Yeah.
we said we're not going to offer him another contract before the end of the season.
Yeah.
So that works well. That's wholly put that whole thing to bed because we still got to sign Micah. We got to. I think Dak is already restructured, but he restructured. So then all we do is going to pay him $111 million this year. Hey, that's no money for Jerry. But like I said, we got to get back to our offensive ways and got to keep our quarterback upright for 17 weeks. If
Yeah.
we do that, I like our chances to compete in the NFC East. Our division is going to be better than it has been in years.
Yeah.
We got the Super Bowl champions returning. We have the two teams that competed in the NFC Championship game in that conference, and we're chasing both of them. And we have the Giants, who I think honestly got better, which I can't say this, haven't been able to say this for a long time, but actually got better in the draft. I don't think they've gotten better where they're going to compete for the top three, but they're not going to be an easy out like they've been
Yeah.
the past few years.
Well,
So
maybe we can have the four NFC East teams in the playoffs, like we could have had a couple
yeah,
of years
the
ago.
thing is, the thing you say that's funny you said it because the schedule favors that
Yes.
because technically we have some of the weaker divisions as a whole that we're going against outside of our own division.
Yeah.
So, like how the Bears, the Packers, and the Vikings and the Detroit all did that last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
There, like I said, so we're in that mode where it could definitely happen this year,
Yeah.
but it'll take each team pulling their own weight.
Of course.
And like I said, the problem is we're going to beat up on each other, and that's going to be the only thing is which is fine, as long as you don't do bad outside the division.
Right.
So we'll see.
And so, hopefully long gone are the times when we were the NFC least and we'll be the NFC beast once again. Um, let's go through a couple more comments in the chat. Bruce says great time to place bets and cash checks, which is true, but do it responsibly, of course. Bruce said he thought about Antonio Brown. We heard about the trade. Hopefully he works out for you
No,
guys.
he don't hope that. Tell Bruce stop lying. He don't hope nothing work out good for us. He lying in words. Tell him my grandma said ain't nothing worse you can do than lie in words.
It's just like saying good morning. Hope that
God ain't saying no good morning. He don't hope it work out for us. He don't with no good morning either.
And Cuzzo said, now I'll back you up on this. This was low key still. You have two great receivers, potential nice running back field. So I would like to thank the Steelers for hooking you up.
See, they don't usually do that.
You scared they giving compliments?
Yeah, I don't like that compliment because I don't know. It could be a hookup, but it could be a
okay. But look,
it could be a hooker.
Bruce
It
said,
could be a hooker too.
Hold on, Bruce said, I don't wish bad on your team. I just want our team to be better, which is true. I feel him on that because I get excited when our division is on top. The fact that we had two teams from the NFC East in the NFC title game, the championship game, that was a big deal, Look, I had to come over here. That last live, I just listened to what he said about the Giants is better than the Cowboys.
Who said that?
He said somebody else just listened to it. Somebody else said
who
that.
said the Giants are better than man? Nobody said. I said they're better than they've been. They ain't better
Yeah,
than Cowboys.
I don't think he said.
And Bruce Glass, she don't wish. Let me say this. She say that she don't wish as bad, but the two teams she do wish bad on: Detroit and Buffalo.
Right, and it's not one of y'all. I don't like them. So what you want? Yeah, he said, Duke said not us, somebody else. And I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not, they're both my team's rivals. And I will say that the Giants has been a number 4 more consistent than any other team, in truth. And I feel like there's a reason for that. They tend to fumble their talent quite a bit. And so whoever said that, they were kind of chirping, maybe
but one thing about the Giants, they did get rid of the cancer in the room, which was Daniel Jones. That's been their biggest problem for the
last y'all been hard on Daniel. Poor Danny.
Daniel Jones trash. As my man would say, man, what? Oh, come on, man. Daniel, you look at the time he's been there and look at the wins of the Giants. That's been the Giants' problem.
Yeah.
And getting rid of him was all because they had talent.
No, we can't say that because they had struggles before him. Consistently. Like
yeah, but not just bottom feeders. They was catfish bound with Daniel Jones. They was just bottom feeders the whole time.
You terrible. All right, so Cuzzo said, I'll put it this way: I might be drafting some Cowboys on his fantasy football.
Oh, we good for that. We good for fantasy. We great with fantasy.
It's just them as a team.
Oh, it's when you put it all together.
It's a struggle a little bit. But I told you what your issue is. It's just, you got the owner.
It's our owner.
And you right, and I know this. My team had the biggest owner struggles imaginable.
We've overcome that mostly during the regular season.
What? Oh, you said like we've
overcome
interference.
We've overcome the Jerry factor through the regular season for the most part.
Well,
it's just it lingers
because he chooses the people that he puts on the team. He chooses the coaches. He chooses these these factors that prevent you guys from going as far as you possibly could. Because I'll be the first to admit, you guys will have talent.
We always have talent, but who? But the other issue, you've also forgotten about the other elephant in the room. We don't know what we have at head coach.
Well, I said the coaching, like
Oh, okay, okay.
he selects that. He
Yeah,
makes.
but I mean, this shot hammer guy and this whole going in the locker room, moving people's lockers stuff, and trying to put this leader by this. He's grown.
That's
He's grown.
micromanagement.
Amen, man. Come on,
Yeah,
man. Come on, man.
micromanagement at its finest.
Most of the time, the coaches leave the locker room for the players and say this is the players' thing. That what stays in the locker room, what goes on in the locker room stays in the locker room, and
Yeah.
you let your player captains or whatever handle the locker room. Unless it gets outside the locker room, that's when you come in.
Yeah.
But this whole going and moving people's lockers, I mean, like, could you imagine? And back in the day, if when you got a new coach, you can't. Daryl Green, your locker gonna be over here. Or Michael Irvin, your locker gonna be. They look at him like he's crazy, man.
Yeah, like why does that matter to you? It's weird. But Deuce said that he told the other live that, they have a forced schedule and keep coming in last place. I feel like that's not even an argument in truth. That's not an argument. Like, I don't know why you would say that. And it's like the facts are all laid out for you. They always finish fourth,
Yes,
unless
it's not even close.
yeah, but on a rare occasion that another team finishes fourth, it's because they had a really, really, really bad year. But if they don't finish fourth, they're third. You see what I'm saying?
And we had a bad year, and like I said, but it's been a while. I mean, we had a very bad year considering the last few years, but they still drafted top 5. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad of a year they had.
Always.
Yeah.
And then Bruce said the Giants should have drafted Sanders. I mean, that was a whole nother story. We talked about that. But honestly, they need it, and despite what reason, these teams did not draft him, there were some teams that overlooked him.
Yeah,
Um,
31
and
of
they
them.
needed him. And so I just feel like this season,
The Saints.
they're going to feel it. And I hope that he does get to play and he balls out,
Thank you.
because that is what he needs to do to prove his naysayers wrong. I have seen some things since the draft, him uh talking to different people, showing another side of himself.
But what you said too, also, Lady A, holds true. He
Mhm.
was never a bad kid.
No.
He might have done some simple things or had some bad interviews,
Yeah.
but the thing is, that's the only problem that really bothered me. I think we talked about it on the show.
Mhm.
They tried to make him out to be a villain, and he was never that.
Yes.
They tried to terrorize that man's character, like I mean, granted, he did all this, and
Yeah, he was a showboat.
he was the highest paid in one. Was that one? I'm sure one of the highest paid NIL athletes.
Yep.
And he already came from money, and he making plenty of money.
So he was proud of his
not show-
accomplishments. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will say that, I'm not a fan of showboating. I've never have been. And but does that mean that you don't get drafted? Well, I feel like if that's the case, then you do it across the board. That's just how I feel. So like I said, I'm not a fan of showboating or being arrogant, things like that. I truly believe everyone, it doesn't matter what you do. I feel like you should always be humble, because whatever you have can be taken from you.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that said, I feel like if you're going to have that energy with him, you should have it across the board with everyone.
Yes.
But nonetheless, he feels away. The draft is over. The draft is done. And the best way to make your naysayers angry
Play
is
well.
to succeed.
And they said he looked head and shoulders better
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel
Yeah.
at the Cleveland rookie
The
camp.
mini camp. Yeah. Yeah. I heard that. I heard he did amazing. And I want that for him. Not just because I'm not necessarily a big fan of his or anything like that, but I want that for him because I truly want to see everyone win. I want to see everyone do great. With that said, I'm gonna be real with you. I adore Shiloh. Like, I don't care what he does. Like, that is my favorite. That's so sweet. But I don't care what Shiloh does. Like, I am rooting for Shiloh. He makes me laugh, and he's just such a genuine spirit. I really
Yes.
like him. And he's the older brother
Yes.
that would undrafted, and I want him to do great. I really, because I really like, he has a special place in my heart. I act like that's my nephew or something. I love.
You always claiming somebody. Lou
I
Vu,
do.
the cousin. He gonna be a nephew.
Yeah,
You can
he my
see
nephew.
him. You already got a relative in the running back position on the team already. What's my boy Bucky? You already got Bucky. What's he? Your distant cousin?
Man, don't play with me. I'm be like, hey, Bucky, yep, and Chris and Bucky. Then Chris Godwin, Bucky Irvin.
Yes, you
I
got
love them too. All
yes.
right, let's say Duke said Cowboys just has injuries. I think Jerry now making decisions this time. How stuff been going, it looks different.
Whatever. I'm not falling for this. This is the
Well, he said not, not.
banana in the tailpipe situation. Not falling for it. Okay, dude. No,
Anyway, we're not really hating on your team. It's not,
it's a lot. You for it.
if you're better, we're better. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's one of those. It's like y'all are our cousins that we love to hate, but we don't want. Well, we do want other people to beat up on y'all, but we still want y'all to do good in general, so we can be better too.
Okay.
Iron sharpens iron, right?
Iron does sharpen iron. You're right.
All right. Well, that's it for us. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Thank
Peace.
you guys so much for coming on, chiming in, viewing. Definitely see. Do say he's a Cowboys fan, so
My man.
oh boy. But
We good, dudes. We good, dudes.
oh no, now you friends. Now you friends. You was just like, oh, whatever.
I gotta watch. I gotta watch. People be perpetrating on here, man. In the chat sometimes, man. I be snake like my man. Oh, like I was told a long time ago, man. You want cut the grass. You want to see the snakes, man. I was just trying to cut some of the grass so I can see what's going on here.
There you go, Bruce.
Man, I told you,
L to the see that W that we talking about, that stands for winner. But thank you so much, guys. Definitely see you next time.
yes,
Like and
whole
subscribe
crew will be back.
so you can stay on topic, on task, and know what we're coming back when we're coming back, what we're talking about, all that stuff. Shout out to all of our folks, our fans, those who couldn't make it, who going to look later on, Sid and Pick on location. They acting up. They acting up on location, just so y'all know. So just say what's up to them in the chat. Al, anything else you want to say? Any final words?
Just man, thanks to all our military folks who put it on the line for us every day and allow us to do what we do every day and our freedoms, man. Thanks to all my people in the chat. And how about them Cowboys?
Bye, y'all. Hail to the Commanders. And that's it.
It's wartime, baby. This what you signed up for. This what we worked hard for. You for. Y'all the first string. Y'all gotta go set the tone now. Hey, let's go. Lace 'em up. It's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hey, let's go. 'Cause it's time for the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Lace 'em up. It's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Imagine talking sports, having fun with the fam. At a starting lineup, First String is what you have. An entertaining stream with the Pro Bowl cast. When the viewers chime in, they gon' answer what you ask. Representing for the Queens, yeah, we got Lady A. A super knowledgeable woman who can break down any play. Said from the South, so he rep GA. The Falcons, the Bulldogs, the whole Peach State. Drunk Uncle Al, only way you can describe him. Every time he crack the mic, you know he gon' be wildin'. Last but not least, it's my man Toothpick. Commanders is a squad and he the captain of the ship. So if you feel the vibe, go ahead and tune in.